They all whispered about her, the shiny white girl who never fought back, who never raised her voice, who walked with quiet grace even when the world tried to break her. But no one expected what happened on graduation day, when the bully slammed her to the ground in front of the entire school, laughing as if she were nothing. She stood up with a calmness that froze the air. And 5 seconds later, 5 seconds that felt like slow motion, she destroyed him in front of everyone, not with violence, but with something far more powerful. What she revealed that day changed every life on that field, including his. And no one, absolutely no one, saw it coming. Ariana Winters had always been different from everyone at Monroe High. Her skin was pale enough to glow under sunlight, and her white blonde hair shimmered every time she moved, features that made her stand out even when she wanted the opposite. Teachers adored her kindness, students admired her calmness, and adults in town spoke of her with near reverence. But the students her age, many of them didn't know what to do with someone who looked like an angel, yet lived like she didn't believe she belonged here. She walked through hallways with soft steps, holding books close to her chest, always smiling at anyone who made eye contact. And yet, to people like Blake Randall, the school's undefeated troublemaker, her presence was a threat he couldn't explain. Blake wasn't born cruel, he became cruel. Rumors said his father left early, his mother worked nights, and no one corrected him when he began treating others as stepping stones. Blake loved attention, and Ariana silently receiving admiration without trying made him burn with envy he couldn't control. The first time he mocked her, she simply smiled and walked away. The second time, she thanked him for pointing out her mistakes, and the third time, she helped him pick up books he purposely dropped. People said she was too soft, too forgiving, too gentle in a world that didn't know what to do with gentle girls. But Ariana's softness wasn't weakness. Not even close. Every day, after school, she disappeared. Students wondered where she went. Some said she worked. Others said she traveled miles out of town. The truth was much deeper. Ariana volunteered at a rehabilitation center for teens recovering from trauma, grief, and self-hate. She spent hours teaching them how to breathe through pain, how to rebuild confidence, and how to stand even when the world wanted them to fall. She never told anyone, because she believed kindness should never require applause. But Blake wanted applause for everything, and on the morning of graduation, his need for attention reached a breaking point. The school field was filled with rows of chairs, families cheering, teachers dressed in navy gowns, camera flashes catching every small moment. Ariana walked to her seat with quiet elegance, her white dress shimmering under the sun like a beam of light in a dark room. Blake watched her with a smirk. He whispered to his friends, "Watch how I shut down Little Miss Perfect today." No one expected what he would do next. During the lineup for the stage walk, Ariana stood just a few steps ahead of him. Families watched proudly, students adjusted their gowns, and at that moment when no one imagined anything wrong could happen, Blake shoved her so hard she stumbled forward and fell onto the wooden steps. A gasp rolled across the field. Her diploma folder slid across the ground. Blake laughed loudly, arms raised as if he'd just scored a victory. The principal hurried forward, teachers shouted, and students stood frozen, staring at Ariana lying on the steps as the sun reflected off her white dress. But Ariana didn't cry. She didn't yell. She didn't call for help. She slowly stood up, brushed dirt off her gown, and turned around with a calm expression so chilling that Blake felt something he'd never felt before: shame. Her eyes met his, and for the first time in his life, Blake couldn't look back. She didn't say a word as she picked up her diploma. And then she stepped aside, motioning for him to go ahead. Everyone stared at her, waiting for her to break, waiting for her to react, waiting for someone to save her. But Ariana wasn't the one who needed saving. Blake was, and the world would understand why very soon. That night, after graduation ended, rumors spread like wildfire. People talked about her dignity, her strength, and her silence. But only Ariana knew the truth. Blake's cruelty had nothing to do with her. She saw the emptiness in his eyes when he pushed her. She saw the fear behind his smirk. She knew broken souls attack gentle ones because gentle souls hold mirrors that reflect their own pain. She knew Blake was drowning, even if he didn't. But she had no idea that the next day, fate would force them into a moment that would change everything. The sun rose quietly over Monroe as Ariana prepared to leave home. She carried a folder, one that held her biggest secret, one she never planned to show anyone at her school. But destiny, it seemed, wasn't asking for her permission. Blake, meanwhile, woke up with a strange heaviness he couldn't explain. He replayed the graduation moment in his mind, expecting pride, but instead feeling something different, a hollow ache that made him restless. He didn't understand it then, but he would soon. And the moment they met again, the entire town would witness the truth behind Ariana's silence. A truth powerful enough to destroy everything Blake thought he knew, and rebuild everything he needed to become.